What's up everybody, Arrg the Pirate here, and today I'm going to be playing a little Wraith in the duo lane. As always, let's go over the deck. Now I have Auto Health Potion, Fast Travel, Multi-Shot, Piercing Basic, Critical Hits, and lastly Healing Towers for my gems. Now for my cards I have Cool of the Week, Demolitionist, Nitro Boost, Sand Speeder, Invader Mage, Guard Piercer, Glycerin Dawn, Pressure Hunter, Swamp Stalker, Heavy Hitter, Wound Seeker, and lastly Shatter Golem. Now I'm not exactly sure what happened to my Guard Piercer in this deck, but I don't know, somehow I took it off. I must have clicked something whenever I was doing that overview, and I took Guard Piercer off, which, you know, that hurts. It's really nice having that 5-point card. I don't have it in this match, but I would highly recommend putting it in your deck. Now, one thing about Wraith that's just absolutely amazing is he's stronger than most other carries at the beginning of the game. Just with that poke, you know, he does have that slower attack speed, and it doesn't quite hit as hard. But with that poke, he can really crank out some early game damage. Now, one thing I've noticed is there are not a whole lot of people freezing the lane on the Dawn side. A lot of them push that lane, which, guys, this is really unsafe to do. You know, it does give you a little easier access to gold buff, but it puts you at such a vulnerable position because that river is behind you, you know, and it's very easy for our allied jungler to come in and just absolutely get a great gank. And, you know, in the early stages, a 3v2, you know, that's kind of deadly. So I would highly recommend trying to freeze that lane a little bit more, or just not push it. Now you can really see the power of Wraith in this safe, or in this duo lane now. I'm just getting tons of poke onto this Sparrow. You know, I have missed a couple of shots. You know, one thing about switching from hero to hero so much, you know, it takes me a little bit to get used to the different types of heroes. And since I'm not able to spend an extended amount of time with them, you know, I forget things. But you see, since they are pushed up, our Richter heads over for a great gank. I'm able to rewind this Sparrow. Now, I want to take out Sparrow. Not too terribly concerned about Narbash. Let Narbash get his farm, whatever. I'll let Richter deal with that as long as I'm able to secure that ADC. That's what really matters. And, you know, really, guys, that's awesome. That's an awesome gank right there. And you can see why pushing up in this lane is just very, very unsafe. In almost every match I'm playing, I see this all the time. You know, the Dawn side really tries to put some pressure on, and I would definitely recommend not putting that early game pressure on. Wait till you do have your first couple of, or your first power card at least, or, you know, just a couple of points in so you can defend yourself a little bit. Now, I don't like being pushed that far up, and I'm going to dip out. You know, it's time for gold anyways, but Quang is there. I'm able to rewind him. Muriel throws a great shield on me, and, you know, you see, we avoided that. If we would have pushed up further, that Quang would have done exactly what I'm talking about we just did. You know, so really in the safe, or in the duo lane, you still need to pretend it's the safe lane. You know, don't push up too far, you know, play safe until you're farmed enough to actually really crank out that damage. Now, our Richter does head back over, and, you know, this is great. We're able to head in, and, you know, Sparrow, unfortunately, she gets out, but that's quite alright. We're able to take this Narbash out. You know, we're starting off great. We're 2-0-0, you know, and it's 4 minutes into the match. You know, as an ADC, that's absolutely huge. You know, I have not been getting, you know, my last hits like I should be, but, you know, it is what it is. We're getting a ton of kills. Now's a perfect time for me to back, you know, and I'm just gonna head back, go ahead and throw on a power card. You know, this is where I'm going, hey, where's my where's my card? But it's gone. So I'm gonna go with Sand Speeder. Now, Sand Speeder is not, you know, it has no power. It's just that basic, you know, attack speed, but that's all right. I don't know if I prefer the passive on Sand Speeder more than Nitro Boost, But, you know, I do like having that power. But I'm thinking, since I do have Knock Knock, you know, I can get away with going for that attack speed. And since Wraith does have just slow attack speed, you know, it's easier just to not deal with missing shots, because, like you just saw me, I'm missing snipes like crazy. It's going to take me just a minute to actually get used to this. So, you know, hey, no problem. Play with my weaknesses, and I would highly recommend y'all do the same. If you know you're weak in a certain area, you know, build your deck towards, you know, supporting your weakness. Now, the duo lane is really, you know, just a tug-of-war match, and it really depends on if you can force the enemy out of lane, or if you can actually, you know, get a kill. That's when you really get the damage on that tower. And so you really want to play the patience game. You can see we're pushing in, trying to get a little poke. Narbash is low, so, you know, he's not staying up with Sparrow, which means he's not getting that experience like he should be. Now, I am able to rewind Sparrow, and we're getting, you know, a pretty good chunk of damage on both of them. And hopefully this will force them out of lane. You know, if not, you know, that's alright too. But I was trying to get that snipe. I probably could have, but it's okay. We didn't quite get that. Muriel's here to just save me. Oh man, she does another great job providing those shields. Now, instead of heading to the tower, because, you know, I did see the enemy heading towards us, I'm going to dip in through the river, or, you know, towards our jungle. And this is actually going to allow me to rotate back. Now, Sparrow did take a good chunk of damage. I'm able to hit her with that Knock Knock, secure that kill. You know, that green buff. Oh man, green buff hurts, guys. Now, I was just going to go ahead and back, but it looks like the enemy cleared out, so let's go ahead and just down this tower. This is exactly what I'm saying, guys. You really have to wait until you can force the enemy out of lane, get some rotation from the jungler, things like that, and it really makes it a lot easier for you. So, you know, that was a great job. Definitely, you know, be patient. It will happen. They will make a mistake if you don't make the mistake first, and that will allow you to secure that tower. Now, from here, I'm going to go ahead and throw on Heavy Hitter. Now, I really like building into Heavy Hitter, and then I actually go for Invader Mage. You know, just trying to get that Knock Knock a little bit stronger, because that is kind of my mid-game damage dealer. And you can see Sparrow is just deleting me. You see, she's definitely got a good power spike going, and, you know, that hurts. So, she can pure out damage me just with her basics, but with my Knock Knock, you know, I do have a little bit of damage that I can, you know, dish out myself. Now, they do have a pretty good rotation here, you know, that Morgesh heads from mid. I just go ahead and use my invis, you know, I want us to get out, or, you know, just avoid a lot of that damage. And sure enough, the enemy team pushes up again, and I'm able to take out Sparrow yet again. You know, this is huge. Taking out the ADC, you know, 3 times within the first 9 minutes is huge. That's going to put her a little bit far behind, and, you know, that's going to provide me with a decent advantage. And you can see I'm going to start building into that Invader Mage, which, you know, again, that's going to increase the damage of Knock Knock. Now, I didn't necessarily have to back right then, but since I took out their ADC, I thought, hey, that's a good time to do that. And sure enough, you know, we're kind of back in the lane. There's Sparrow and Narbash are over here. I'm going to go ahead and try to get some damage onto this Narbash, and then you see Sparrow heads in. Now, what she did here was, you know, this was a pretty bad choice, because she went into my minions, and my minions are doing tons of damage to her. So, you know, this allows me to take her out yet again. Now, Narbash is, you know, he's running, but we're going to wrap him up as well. I don't know if you saw, but there was definitely that Morgesh over in the jungle heading towards us, but I'm just going to turn and get out. You know, Morgesh might be able to deal with me, so I don't want to risk that. And this is going to free me up to, you know, kind of start rotating a little bit. We've got our lane pushed fairly decently. You know, Muriel does stay in that lane to push it, I guess, so I'm going to kind of head over and go into mid. Now, I don't know if I missed Clang. I thought I would hit him, but or I might have just been out of range. But, you know, we go in, we kind of hit that Clang, or aim at him anyway, scare him off, and Morgesh does show up. You know, again, guys, I'm missing shots right and left, but, you know, hey, as long as we're making the right decisions, we're doing okay. And, you know, 6-0, that's making right decisions. I do need to head back to my lane. You can see I'm heading behind the tower, guys. This is huge. You definitely need to head behind the tower. Never run into the tower or from that, you know, jungle side or where the gold buff is. Don't do that, guys. That's a great way to die. Even though Muriel is there, you know, you just don't want to risk that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and rewind Narbash. You know, Richter got that pull, so I was just going to rewind him. It would have been nice to use a rewind on Sparrow, but hey, we got a Gideon head over, you know, we got a couple of assists there, so we're spreading the wealth, but that's great, guys. This is going to push this lane in the right direction, you know, getting another couple of kills on the support and ADC, that's absolutely huge, and again, this is going to free us up to head over to mid. Now, again, I'm going to head towards my tower side. I don't want to run in through the river. Quang could get a root, you know, he could get some decent damage on me, and I really want to avoid that. So, you know, just run from the top. You might lose a little bit of poke damage or something like that, but it's much better than, you know, the fight turning around on you and, you know, actually causing an issue. Now, from here, I'm going to just kind of run around, you know, make sure everything's stable everywhere. I head to my lane, get it pushing in the right direction, and then I'm going to head back to mid. Because, you know, you can see my team's collapsing on that single lane, solo lane side. And, you know, this is really going to allow me to put a lot of pressure on mid. And sure enough, we're able to down that tower. Now, one thing about mid, guys, is they really do need help downing their tower. And especially, we've been seeing more and more Shimbys in that solo lane. You know, we've been seeing a lot more Shimbys because, wow, she's so good right now. But she needs help downing her tower. You know, she is a caster. So, abilities do no damage to towers or structures. So, she definitely needs help actually getting those things secured. And that's huge, guys. So, make sure to rotate over and help them out. Now, Sparrow does end up grabbing that gold buff from me, but, you know, that's alright. Now, she does jump down. Let's just rewind her back up to the top. We're able to, you know, get a good kill on her as well. Morgesh is here, so I'm going to use my invis to just kind of get out. And, you know, I was kind of running in circles, making sure that we got out of that situation. And sure enough, we're able to, you know, that's one thing about Wraith. He's got a fairly decent escape. Now, I will show a pretty good counter to his escape in another video, but he does have a very decent escape, and, you know, this can get you out of a bad situation, like Morgesh. You know, if she would have got another hit on me or two, she would have been able to ult me and take me out. Now, I do go ahead and switch to Shatter Golem and that Invader Mage, so I should be, you know, poking pretty hard with Knock Knock, as well as, you know, doing some decent damage with my basic. I also have, you know, multi-shot, which is really going to increase my wave clear. Now, I don't recommend running lifesteal on Wraith just because his basic damage is fairly low. So you're not going to get near the benefit from lifesteal as you would with other heroes. And, you know, I just really prefer having multi-shot on him. Now, here at around 17 minutes, we actually make our first Raptor play, or Fang. I keep calling it Raptor, guys. Yeah, I know it's Fang, but it just, you know, habits. But we actually make our first Fang play, and, you know, hey, we're successful 17 minutes in. It's a little slow, but, you know, when you're running in a duo queue, which is what I'm in now, it's a little bit harder to, you know, get that coordination and things like that. And, you know, Wraith is not known for just cranking out damage like other ADCs. Now, I go ahead and slow this down because I make my first mistake of the game. Now, I'm very cocky. You know, I'm going in onto the Sparrow, which I shouldn't be. I really should not be going in on Sparrow right now, but I'm just trying to force her out again, and, you know, I end up paying dearly for it. Now, they do get some collapse, and you can see, I get melted, guys. There was no reason for me to do that. I'm really glad Muriel didn't ult in to save me, because, you know, that was on me, guys. I should not have been doing that. That was just a very poor choice, but this does allow me to put on Glycerin Dawn. Now, having Fireball is absolutely amazing on Wraith. You can knock knock fireball basic attack. You know, that's a ton of damage. And you know, I do forget to use fireball. I need to bind it to a mouse or something like that. It'd be much faster. But you know, fireball is just such a great card, and it's a lot of fun having it on Wraith. Now, I am in our solo lane. You know, I head over there to try to help out, but we've got some collapse here mid, and I'm going to try everything I can to, you know, prevent these things from happening. I was trying to get that rewind. I don't know what happened there. And so I just shot at her to, you know, you got away. Yeah. We didn't even take out that Sparrow, which is, you know, unfortunate. She was at nothing. That's who I really was trying to aim at, but, you know, that body block, the accidental body block was spot on with Morgesh. But, you know, hey, they end up getting out there pretty low. You know, I did hit her with that fireball, and you can see she's at half health. You know, we did some good damage to her. Now, the enemy team is going in on Wraith, and or on Fang, and I definitely need to be there for it. I'm, again, able to hit Morgesh with a fireball, and, you know, Narvesh, he gets caught out. Now, I have my invisibility, but with the amount of CC, you know, I wasn't able to do anything. We did keep the enemy team from picking up Fang, though, which is absolutely huge. My team does actually rotate over, and, you know, they make a bit of a play. We've got a 2 for 2, or 2 for 1, and we end up getting another kill, so it's a 2 for 3 fight, which is great. But, you know, we need to kind of reset lanes, things like that, and really just, you know, pay attention to what all's going on. Now, the enemy team is going in on Fang, and, you know, I'm going to try to use an invisibility, head over there. Maybe I can actually steal it. You know, I do have knock knock, but they end up actually taking it out, which, you know, hey, that's unfortunate, but we get a little bit of a team collapse. So, you know, hey, let's turn this situation around, crank out some kills. You know, that I hit my knock knock too early, but, you know, we're able to take out Quang. Now, Quang's a pretty big threat, so, you know, that's a pretty good fight right there. But I gotta get out. I've got to get out. I'm very low. Morgesh is right behind me, chasing me. She actually goes in on to Muriel, which she's out of mana now. So we could definitely take her out. You know, we just have to be careful about it. My team, you know, they end up getting into that fight, and, you know, they're going down one by one, which is unfortunate. You know, I'm in a bad position now. And, you know, hey, I just need to get out. You know, I gotta go. I do have my rewind in case I need it, but I'm going to run straight across the map. I'm not going to run towards, you know, back towards my lane. I'm going to run across the map and then go towards the core, and I can see the enemy team on the mini-map. I can see where they're heading. I know Morgesh is out of mana, so I'm not too worried about her sneaking up on me and, you know, getting a sneaky mark. So we end up getting out. You know, our lanes are being punished right now, which is unfortunate, but hopefully we can turn this around. You know, we got into 2 team fights over Fang and ended up losing Fang and ended up losing the second team fight, which that feels bad. You know, that definitely should be avoided. I end up rewinding Seraph to safety there. You know, I was just trying to get her off the tower, but they definitely had the tower there. Now, Sparrow, again, she's heading in on, you know, and she stays in just a little bit too long. This allows Richter to head over, and, you know, Severog's here. You know, we get a couple of stuns on her, and we're able to take her out no problem. Now, we're still doing pretty well. We are now, you know, on the bad side of this tower game. We do have all their tier 1s up, and we still have our mid lane tier 1, but we lost our jump pads, which is huge. Losing jump pads is huge. Losing, you know, letting them pick up that Raptor and then going in and dying for it, you know, that was just a bad play. You know, hopefully we can kind of get on a better track and really make some solid progress. Now, from here, I'm just going to shove this lane, and then I'm going to rotate to mid. Now, this is a perfect example of, you know, getting into a fight without having your front line, without having any sort of tank with you. And it always turns out bad, guys, you know, which we get collapsed on. We were pushed up too far. This Gideon jumps in and uses his ult. You know, I want to be there for that ultimate. You know, I need to be there so I can, you know, get that ultimate kill. We really do need to get out, though. Seraph's here, Quang's here. I get just deleted, guys. Oh, you know, I don't think I would have engaged that far up with Gideon, but, you know, when he goes for it, you know, I'm tempted to go for it. That was a bad play, especially after he got stunned and taken out. We definitely should have got out of there. But, you know, mistakes happen. And, you know, that's a perfect example of when you don't have a front line, how, you know, how futile the fight is. You know, as soon as one of their damage dealers showed up, or two of them, you know, hey, we got slaughtered. Now, we've started out very well, but, you know, in this mid-game, we've really kind of let things go. You know, we've done just death after death. We've got a couple of kills, but, you know, we keep dying, and trading deaths is never worth it. Now, Sparrow does make another mistake. You know, she's pushed up a little bit too far. We are able to punish her for that, and, you know, we get a very easy kill on her. And, you know, at this point, Sparrow, she is getting fed, but, you know, she's died quite a bit, guys. She is way behind where she should be. But I do gotta head to my duo lane. You know, Seraph is pushing it. We definitely need to be there to at least stop that lane from pushing. And sure enough, when we show up, you know, she's gone. Which, that's great. That's kind of what we want. We want to farm in peace. You know, Seraph's a tough hero to deal with, guys. She can delete you. If you can't keep your distance from her, which it's very tough to keep your distance from her, you know, she's going to kill you. And if you do manage to get her low, she's got one of the best escapes. So, it's very hard to deal with Seraph, and I'm glad she's gone. Now, we are keeping staggered deaths on really both teams. You know, we've constantly got one person down, and, you know, we're getting into these fights and everything like that. You know, it's good, but at the same time, you know, we should be concentrating on lanes a little bit more, but this fight right here turns it around. You know, we're able to take out their entire team with this engagement, and, you know, they might have been able to do that without me, but taking out that Seraph, you know, that made a huge difference. Now, I'm pinging, hey, let's go Orb, and we just don't have any collapse, and, you know, it feels bad, man. There's no reason we shouldn't have gone for Orb when there's 5 of them down. Or at least gone for Fang or something. You know, I almost died because no one showed up. You know, I thought, hey, everybody's going to head straight there. There's absolutely no reason not to head straight there. But, we didn't. So, you know, it is what it is, guys. You know, when you're dealing with the solo queue or, you know, a duo queue, it's hard to get your team to do the things you want to. But, hey, no problem at all. We've got to just keep maintaining and keep pushing. Now, this video is getting on, you know, a little bit on the long side, so we're going to try to hopefully speed things up. But after the entire enemy spawns in, the enemy team actually goes for Fang. So we've got to head over there and, you know, prevent this from happening. Luckily, we are able to, you know, take them out. We do lose Fang. You know, we got a team wipe and ended up losing Fang for it. You know, that was a complete waste of that team wipe. You know, we didn't even get a tower for it. You know, it feels bad, man. But, you know, is what it is. We actually get another team wipe. You know, we lost Fang, but got another team wipe. Which, you know, hey, now let's make some progress. Now let's... I'm not even going to go for Prime this time. You know, let's just push lanes. Now would be another perfect time to take Prime. But, you know, is what it is. Richter's down. Let's just go ahead and push lanes and hopefully make some progress with towers. Sure enough, Arrg is actually already going in on that duo lane inhib, and with me, Muriel, and Gideon here in mid, we're able to just push down this mid lane, and, you know, we make some pretty good plays. Now, after we down this mid inhib, you know, I kind of go into the core, but, you know, they're starting to spawn back in, so let's go ahead and take all the rest of the objectives, and, you know, hopefully we can just actually end. You know, it does take us a little longer than I would have liked, but, you know, that's kind of how it has been lately, it seems. It seems like a lot of teams are turtle shelling under their towers a lot more than they used to. You know, I'm not exactly sure if that's just because the minions are stronger or what, but it seems like once all 3 inhibs are down, you know, it's much harder to make that final progress. We almost get that 3rd inhib down after that push, but we weren't quite able to. But again, now's a great time to go for Prime, but we're just not having the collapse that we need. And, you know, that's unfortunate. You know, there's no reason not to pick up Prime right now, guys. When you've got all your lanes pushed the way they're pushed now, or, you know, after you get a team wipe, that's the time to pick up those objectives, guys, because after you pick them up, you can really make some forward progress in towers, things like that. And really, if you get some team collapse, especially at this point in the match, those big objectives, they fall very fast. Now, my team ends up going for Fang. Again, you know, we might as well, you know, we're not going to get Prime. We might as well take out Fang. Sure enough, we're able to take that out. And then, you know, we had Severog kind of running defense a little bit, which, you know, hey, that's great. I'm able to rewind this Narbash, you know, and this is what makes Wraith just such a good hero, because he's able to rewind right into the middle of the team and you can just elite them. Now, this Quang is heading over to, you know, engage in this fight as well. And, you know, he's able to take out our Gideon, which, you know, that's unfortunate. No one's actually paying attention to him, which, you know, they're chasing that kill, and that's okay. You know, I need to wait until that rewind was off cooldown. I'm able to rewind him out of there, and then I go ahead and use Invis, and we're able to back. You know, focusing that ADC is what really cost those deaths there. You know, Quang was just right behind everybody, just beating them up, which that is very unfortunate. You know, you definitely want to focus the ADC, but if the ADC is being very elusive and you've got a guy in behind you, you know, just beating you up, being sandwiched by enemies, you know, that's gonna be bad. Fortunately, me and Muriel were able to make it out. You know, using that invis, we were able to escape safely, and the enemy team is still going to have to go deal with those super minions, things like that, so it's not a complete loss. We did lose our tier 2 in this solo lane, but at the same time, guys, you know, it could have been much worse. Luckily, you know, we did get out. Now, from here, I'm going to head over to my duo lane. You know, I go ahead and switch the spot on Fireball. I like having my position as 1. It's just a lot more comfortable for me, and I don't misclick it or anything like that, typically. But, again, we're going to go kind of force that duo lane, and then we're going to head back to mid, and we actually get into a team engagement here, you know, just in front of the river, or just at the river. And with this Gideon ult, you know, oh man, it's GG. You know, we get a great 3-man wipe, and you know, Seraph is pushing our inhib, but you know, let's not worry about her. Let's just go ahead and push. You know, we've got Gideon heading over there. You know, he can deal with her. That's completely okay. Let's push down this lane. Let's go ahead and end this game. You know, Seraph is not going to be able to end by herself with Richter and Gideon there. And, you know, with our minion waves, you know, pushing the way they are, we will be able to end because we've got 3 of them down. Now, sure enough, you know, Seraph does try everything she can. She's just not able to get that. And Richter and Gideon wrap that kill up. They're able to kind of secure that lane a little bit. And we've got, you know, we've got 20-something minions into the tower. We're able to, you know, make very short work of the core and wrap this match up. Now, I gotta say, Wraith feels a lot more solid in this duo lane. You know, he is a much earlier ADC than the rest, and he does fall off towards the end. You know, Sparrow's a much stronger ADC towards the end, but man, he feels awesome. I have really enjoyed playing him. Well, that's going to wrap it up, guys. This was a really fun match. You know, we got quite a few kills. And we had a little bit of miscommunication, but it turned out good in the end. Well, if you did enjoy, show me some love. Leave me a comment. Think about subscribing. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.